Hello, and I welcome you all in today's class. Today we are going to discuss about the second topic of this module, that is component of steel bars in every structure. So what are the basic components which everybody need to know before he is going to attempt or estimating the steel? So as you can see, the first point is a diameter of steel bar. Uh, Diameter, why we call this diameter? Because nowadays if you see in the market, there are a circular steel bar that is used, and it is also called as deformed. Deformed means the surface of this steel bar is not plain, rather the surface of this steel bar is deformed in different intervals so that it can make a strong grip with concrete. Okay, so the size available in the market is maybe from 2 mm to 40 mm as a standard, but you can also find some of the more diameter on the special requirement. But this diameter is available in the market, that is from 2 mm to 40 mm. And the second point is there is a grade. Grade means it is basically the strength of the steel that due to it is basically the strength of the steel. So if the strength of the steel is higher, so it will be costly, and on the other hand, if the strength of the steel is less, so it will be less costly. So there is a cost factor, and also there are other factors that designer is assuming that this should be a 40 or 60. So for the rigidity, we must need 60 grade of steel bar. So how we know that this is 60 or this is 40? Everything by appearance it looks same, but to ease, what supplier has done is basically they mark color, yellow, red. In some area it is also used blue, but yellow and red is used to differentiate both of these grades. Then move to standard length of steel. Standard length of steel is 9 mm to 12 mm. When you go to market, you will find one length that is minimum 9 mm to 12 mm. So if the length is more than 12 meter, it's mean we need to join two steel bars together to get the required length. And if the length of our structure or if the length is less than 12 mm or 9 mm, so in that case we need to cut this standard bar length. So what we have discussed, basically the 3 point: diameter of steel, grade of reinforcement steel, and the third is standard length of steel bars. Moves next, bar bending schedule process. We will discuss about the bar bending schedule process. So what is the process involved, basically where we need to prepare the bars according to the requirement of the structure or according to the requirement of the drawing. So the number first is the cutting length of steel. Cutting length of steel, I will describe about what actually the cutting length of steel means. Next, the second point is bending of steel bars, then cranking of steel bar, then fabricating of steel bar, and then tying in position of steel bar. So these are five most important things which you need to know, and this is basically the points where we will circulate throughout the course: cutting, bending, cranking, fabricating, and tying the position. So in next slide we will discuss this one by one so that you will understand what is the basic concept. As you can see that I draw some of the photos so that you will understand basically this process, that what is cutting length, bending, cranking, fabricating, and tying in position. Okay, so if you see this picture, you can see here the steel is placed in raw order. So when the supplier deliver the steel, he will send in this position. Okay, what QS is quantifying all these things. Once he quantify, he get the weight of the steel and plus the diameter of the steel and plus the grade of the steel. Once all three things he know, then he will deliver this order to the supplier. Then supplier arrange the weight according to the diameter. Okay, so there is no position, nothing. There are standard bars 9 to 12. So he just delivered that one on the site, and on the site it is stored somewhere in the store. So the next point is what we will do once we receive this raw steel. I call this raw because it is not usable in this position. So what we will do, we will start fabricating it from the very first point. So the first what we will do, we will straight all these bars using different tools that is always available with steel fixer. So uh, the steel fixer will make all these bars straight. Once it will be straight, then uh, according to the size of the structure, these steel bar will cut according to the length. Okay, as you can see here, there is a different length. Here there is a different length. Here this is a different length. Okay, so this length is basically called the cut length. Okay, so cut length is basically the desired length which required to place bar bending in any structure. Okay, like for example, if we have a footing, this is the footing. Okay, and this footing has the size. If we say this footing has 2 meter by 2 meter size, okay, what we will do, this steel bar is one steel bar is 12 meters. So this is, you can see, this is the higher length. So what we will do, we will just cut this steel bar uh, into pieces, that is like this, 2 meter 2 meter. So how much we need, we just simply need to cut from this full length of the steel bar. Okay, once we cut the steel, then we bend the steel according to our requirement. Here, as you can see, this is a straight bar. Then what we will do, we will bend the steel on the different positions, okay, according to the drawing. So this straighter bar is now becoming this shape. Okay, so this is very important thing to understand, that on different places here there is a machine system. So they just simply bend this according to the design. So especially in the case of slab, our next step is cranking, that we need to bend up. Okay, we also called this particular thing as a bent up. Okay, so for the bent up, you need to know that the steel bar is giving an angle that is maybe 45 or 60. So this process is called the cranking or bent up. Okay, so then there is a fabricating process. As you can see, this is one of the column or beam, whatever it is horizontal, so it will be a beam. So as you can see that once we have get all the structure, like for example, these are the straight bars and these are the stirrups. So what we do, we just fix all this outside the place where we need to actually install this particular structure. So when we finish this one, then the last step will be placed on the desired location. Okay, this desired location can be seen in the plan of the drawing. This we further discuss in the future classes. So thank you so much for this, and we will meet in the next class.